This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away in February 2014 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Shirley Temple, she was born in April 1928 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 85 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Shirley Temple was America's most favorite child star during the Great Depression. She later transitioned to a diplomatic career serving as a United States ambassador. Her curly hair and dimpled smile charmed millions. She remains an icon of film and public service. Philip Seymour Hoffman. He was born in July 1967 and he died in February 2014. His age was 46 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was drug overdose. Philip Seymour Hoffman was one of the most respected actors of his generation. He won an Academy Award for Capote and was acclaimed for complex, powerful roles. Known for his depth and intensity, Hoffman balanced indie films and blockbusters. His death was a profound loss to cinema. Richard Bull. He was born in June 1924 and he died in February 2014. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. Richard Bull was best known for playing shopkeeper Nels Olson on Little House on the Prairie. He brought warmth and understated humor to the beloved family series. Bull's television and stage career spanned decades. He was cherished by fans for his gentle portrayals. Luan Gideon. She was born in November 1955 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 58 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was cancer. Luan Gideon was a television actress best known as the villainous Danielle Atron on The Secret World of Alex Mack. She had a vibrant stage and screen presence. Gideon was also active in community theater and writing. Her performances left a lasting impression on 90s television fans. Gloria Leonard. She was born in August 1940 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 73 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was stroke. Gloria Leonard was a trailblazing adult film actress who became a publisher and free speech advocate. She edited High Society magazine and was known for her wit and activism. Leonard also ran for public office in New York. Her influence extended beyond adult entertainment into politics and media. Sid Kaser. He was born in September 1922 and he died in February 2014. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Sid Kaser was a comedy pioneer who revolutionized early television. His work on your show of shows influenced generations of writers and performers. Known for his impeccable timing and sketches, he helped shape American humor. Kaser was a comedic giant of the 20th century. Ralph Waite. He was born in June 1928 and he died in February 2014. His age was 85 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Ralph Waite was beloved for his role as John Walton Sr. on The Waltons. He brought strength and warmth to the character of a Depression-era father. Waite also had roles in politics and religious service. His acting left a heartfelt legacy in American television. Mary Grace Canfield. She was born in September 1924 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 89 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was lung cancer. Mary Grace Canfield was best known as the lovable and quirky Ralph Monroe on Green Acres. Her comedic timing and charm made her a fan favorite. She also appeared in numerous stage and television productions. Canfield brought humor and heart to every role. Garrick Otley. He was born in November 1939 and he died in February 2014. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was prostate cancer. Garrick Otley was a veteran journalist and one of the first full-time television correspondents covering the Vietnam War. He reported for NBC, PBS, and CNN. Otley was known for his calm, analytical style. His career reflected integrity in journalism over decades. Harold Ramis, he was born in November 1944 and he died in February 2014. His age was 69 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was autoimmune disease. Harold Ramis was a comedic genius behind classic films like Ghostbusters and Groundhog Day. He helped define the 80s comedy through his writing, acting, and directing. Ramis was a member of the famed Second City troupe. His work remains deeply loved and endlessly rewatched. Jim Lang, he was born in August 1932 and he died in February 2014. His age was 81 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Jim Lang was a smooth-talking host of The Dating Game, a staple of 1960s and 70s television. His charisma and warm presence made him a beloved figure in pop culture. Lang also worked as a radio personality. His voice and charm defined an era of game shows. John Hansen, he was born in April 1965 and he died in February 2014. His age was 48 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. John Hansen was the son of Muppets creator Jim Henson and a talented puppeteer himself. He performed characters like Sweet Tums in the beloved franchise. Henson continued his family's creative legacy. His sudden passing was a blow to fans of whimsical puppetry. Bob Casile, he was born in July 1952 and he died in February 2014. His age was 61 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Bob Casile was a founding member and keyboardist of the new wave band Devo. Known for their hit, Whip It, Devo was influential in music and pop culture. Casile also worked as a music producer and sound engineer. His creative talents shaped an era of music innovation. Richard Haymon, he was born in March 1920 and he died in February 2014. His age was 93 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Richard Haymon was a famed American arranger, conductor, and harmonica virtuoso. He crafted musical scores for films and was principal arranger for the Boston Pops. His vibrant arrangements modernized orchestral performances. Haymon brought popular music flair to classical venues. Joan Mondale, she was born in August 1930 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 83 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was Alzheimer's disease. Joan Mondale, wife of Vice President Walter Mondale, was a passionate advocate for the arts. Nicknamed Joan of Art, she promoted cultural institutions during her public service. Mondale served on museum boards and supported artists nationwide. Her dedication enriched American public life and culture. Renee Ricard, he was born in July 1946 and he died in February 2014. His age was 67 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Renee Ricard was a provocative figure in New York's art and poetry scene. He rose to prominence in the 1980s with incisive art criticism and collaborations with Andy Warhol. Ricard's poetry was raw, emotional, and influential. He remains a symbol of Bohemian art culture. Maggie Tap, she was born in March 1963 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 50 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was heart attack. Maggie Tap was a slam poet and novelist known for her edgy, punk-infused voice. She was a frequent performer on MTV and the spoken word scene. Tap wrote several novels blending grit and humor. Her raw, powerful writing resonated with the generation. Tommy Aquino, he was born in May 1992 and he died in February 2014. His age was 21 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was road accident. Tommy Aquino was a rising star in motorcycle racing. Known for his talent and drive, he competed in AMA Pro and British Superbike championships. Aquino's promising career was tragically cut short in a training accident. He was admired for his charisma and sportsmanship. William Zackendorf Jr. He was born in October 1929 and he died in February 2014. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. William Zackendorf Jr., was a visionary New York City real estate developer. He transformed cityscapes with projects like Worldwide Plaza and luxury developments. He followed the footsteps of his father, also a famed developer. His work shaped the modern Manhattan skyline. John J. Kelly, he was born in August 1918 and he died in February 2014. His age was 95 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John J. Kelly was a pioneering real estate developer who helped shape the suburban landscape of New Jersey. He co-founded Kelly Associates, a major force in commercial and residential building. Kelly was also a philanthropist and art patron. His business acumen influenced real estate for decades. Gordon Zacks, he was born in March 1933 and he died in February 2014. His age was 80 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was cancer. Gordon Zacks was a successful business leader and civic activist, known for guiding R.G. Berry, makers of Deerfoam slippers. He was also an advisor to President George H.W. Bush on foreign affairs. Zacks wrote on leadership and values. His legacy praised business and public service. R. Alan Majins, she was born in September 1925 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 88 at the time of her death and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Dr. R. Alan Majins was a groundbreaking geneticist who co-discovered Smith-Magenis syndrome. She spent her career researching chromosome abnormalities in children. A professor at Oregon Health Sciences University, she was also a compassionate pediatrician. Magenis opened doors in medical genetics. Hazel Samson, she was born in May 1910 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 103 at the time of her death and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Hazel Samson was the last native speaker of the Clallam language, a key figure in Native American language preservation. She worked to document and teach Clallam to future generations. Her voice carried centuries of tradition. Samson's passing marked the end of an era and a new start in cultural revival. Alfred Su, he was born in November 1918 and he died in February 2014. His age was 95 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Alfred Su was a pioneering materials scientist who researched ceramics and materials for space application. His work supported NASA's Apollo program and innovations in material science. He was a professor at UCLA and a respected mentor. Su's research contributed to the space age. Eric Ostrog, he was born in August 1927 and he died in February 2014. His age was 87 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Eric Ostrog was a key figure in the fight against air pollution, leading vehicle emission regulation at the EPA. He challenged automakers to meet environmental standards. His work reshaped United States clean air policies. Ostrog was a quiet but pivotal force in public health. Horst Rachel Baker, he was born in November 1941 and he died in February 2014. His age was 72 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was pancreatic cancer. Horst Rachel Baker revolutionized the beauty industry with the founding of Aveda. He promoted eco-conscious and holistic health products long before they were mainstream. A visionary in both business and sustainability, he merged luxury with ethics. His legacy lives in green beauty innovation. Richard Doherty, he was born in March 1922 and he died in February 2014. His age was 91 at the time of his death and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Richard Doherty was a respected archaeologist who led the groundbreaking excavation of the Ozette village site. His work preserved key Native American heritage and artifacts. He taught at Washington State University for decades. His research expanded the understanding of Pacific Northwest history. John F. Rockhart, he was born in 1931 and he died in February 2014. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John F. Rockhart was a renowned management theorist who pioneered the critical success factors approach to business strategy. He was a professor at MIT Sloan School of Management and led research on information systems. Rockhart shaped executive thinking for decades. His legacy lives in modern business education. Louise Bruff. She was born in March 1923 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 90 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Louise Bruff was a dominant tennis star of the 1940s and 1950s. She won 35 Grand Slam titles in singles, doubles, and mixed doubles. Known for her powerful serve and volley game, she helped define women's tennis. Barrow was a Hall of Fame athlete and enduring icon. Lee Lodge. He was born in September 1915 and he died in February 2014. His age was 98 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Lee Lodge was a respected mathematician and staunch civil rights activist. He lost academic posts for fighting racial segregation, particularly in housing. Despite career obstacles, he made vital contributions to mathematics and society. His courage helped open doors for future scholars of color. Edward Bisou. He was born in July 1942 and he died in February 2014. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Grandmaster Edward Bisou was a pioneer of Taekwondo in the United States. He founded the United States Chengdu Kwon Association and trained thousands of martial artists. A decorated Air Force veteran, he promoted discipline and spiritual growth through martial arts. His legacy endures in dojo across the country. Nancy Holt. She was born in April 1938 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 75 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was leukemia. Nancy Holt was a groundbreaking land artist, best known for her large-scale environmental sculptures like sun tunnels, a contemporary of Robert Smithson. She redefined spatial and celestial experience in art. Holt's work blends nature, time, and perception. Her legacy reshaped the landscape of modern art. Eric Berkowitz. He was born in February 1933 and he died in February 2014. His age was 80 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Eric Berkowitz was a screenwriter and television producer best known for the Emmy-winning miniseries Shogun. He wrote for popular shows like Hawaii Five-0 and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. His storytelling brought drama and historical epics to millions. Berkowitz's scripts helped define 1980s television. J. Mac Robinson. He was born in May 1923 and he died in February 2014. His age was 90 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Alzheimer's disease. J. Mac Robinson was a successful Atlanta businessman and generous philanthropist. He made his fortune in insurance and banking and later donated millions to universities and the arts. Georgia State University named its business school in his honor. Robinson combined prosperity with public service. Floyd Adams Jr. He was born in May 1945 and he died in February 2014. His age was 68 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Floyd Adams Jr. made history as Savannah's first African-American mayor. A dedicated public servant, he focused on economic development and community improvement. Adams was a respected and trailblazing leader. His legacy remains vital in Georgia politics. Bill Sinkin. He was born in May 1913 and he died in February 2014. His age was 100 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Bill Sinkin was a champion of renewable energy and civic reform in San Antonio. He founded Solar San Antonio, pushing for sustainable infrastructure. A lifelong activist, Sinkin supported civil rights and public art. His life left a transformative mark on Texas. Anton Agri Jr. He was born in January 1930 and he died in February 2014. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Anton Agri Jr. served as a Massachusetts state legislator and later as a judge. He championed public safety and judicial fairness. Agri was known for his dedication to community and service. His contributions left a lasting mark on state governance. John Fichter. He was born in January 1935 and he died in February 2014. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John Fichter served as Republican member of Pennsylvania House of Representatives. He was committed to education and veteran affairs. Fichter represented the 70th District for several terms. He was respected for his dedication to public service. Howard Kupperman. He was born in April 1931 and he died in February 2014. His age was 82 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Howard Kupperman was a respected public servant who served as mayor of Longport, New Jersey, known for his integrity and dedication to local governance. He championed coastal community concerns. His leadership left a strong civic foundation. Kupperman served his community with passion and purpose. Stewart W. Bainham Sr. He was born in June 1919 and he died in February 2014. His age was 94 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. Stewart W. Bainham Sr. was a hotel magnate and Maryland politician who founded Choice Hotels International. He also served in the Maryland General Assembly. Bainham advocated for affordable housing and social services. His business acumen and public service defined a full and impactful life. Haley Owens. She was born in August 2003 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 10 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was homicide. Haley Owens was a bright and beloved 10-year-old girl from Springfield, Missouri. Her tragic abduction and murder shocked the nation and led to widespread calls for child protection reforms. Her memory lives on in anti-violence advocacy. A foundation was formed in her honor. Thomas Borcherding. He was born in February 1939 and he died in February 2014. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Thomas Borcherding was an economist noted for his contributions to public choice theory and the economics of bureaucracy. He taught at the Claremont Graduate University and authored influential papers. Borcherding's work explored government inefficiency and fiscal policy. He shaped modern political economy studies. Robert A. Dahl. He was born in December 1915 and he died in February 2014. His age was 98 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Robert A. Dahl was a towering figure in political science, best known for his work on democracy and pluralism. He taught at Yale University and authored landmark books like Who Governs. Dahl's theories shaped democratic thought globally. His influence endures in academic and policy circles. Suzanne Basso. She was born in May 1954 and she died in February 2014. Her age was 59 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was execution by lethal injection. Suzanne Basso was convicted for torturing and murdering a mentally disabled man in Texas. Her 1998 crime drew national attention for its brutality. She was executed in 2014, one of few women on death row. Her case sparked debates on mental health, justice, and capital punishment. Abe Woodson. He was born in February 1934 and he died in February 2014. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Abe Woodson was a standout NFL kick returner and defensive back in the 1950s and 1960s, a five-time Pro Bowler. He was known for his explosive speed and return yardage. After football, he became a minister. Woodson left a mark both on the field and in the pulpit. Al van der Eyck. He was born in October 1920 and he died in February 2014. His age was 93 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Al van der Eyck was a professional American football player for All-America Football Conference Buffalo Bisons. He played in 5 games in the 1946 season after his collegiate career at William & Mary. He later coached at his alma mater from 1947 through 1949. Keith Hughes. He was born in June 1968 and he died in February 2014. His age was 45 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Keith Hughes was an American basketball player who played for 2 years at Syracuse University and then transferred to Rutgers University before being drafted by the Houston Rockets and subsequently being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 1991 NBA Draft. Ralph Kiner. He was born in October 1922 and he died in February 2014. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Ralph Kiner was a Hall of Fame slugger who led the National League in home runs for 7 seasons. After his playing days, he became a beloved broadcaster for the New York Mets. His wit and storytelling made him a fan favorite. Kiner was a legend on and off the field. Hal Harring. He was born in February 1924 and he died in February 2014. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Hal Harring was an American football player and coach. He played college football at Auburn University and professionally as a center in linebacker for the Buffalo Bills in All-America Football Conference AAFC and the Cleveland Browns in the National Football League NFL. He later was a defensive coach at Auburn and for the NFL Atlanta Falcons and San Diego Chargers. Max McCleary. He was born in January 1948 and he died in February 2014. His age was 66 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Mac McCleary was a long-serving baseball umpire known for his colorful style and distinctive presence behind the plate. He worked college and minor league games for over 3 decades. McCleary was a beloved fixture in the baseball community. His enthusiasm made every game memorable. Jim Fregosi. He was born in April 1942 and he died in February 2014. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke complications. Jim Fregosi was a 6-time All-Star sports top and longtime MLB manager. He led the Phillies to the 1993 World Series and was known for his strategic mind. Fregosi spent over 50 years in professional baseball. His leadership and love for the game earned him enduring respect. Amory Williams. He was born in October 1911 and he died in February 2014. His age was 102 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Amory Williams was a business executive and dedicated philanthropist who played a key role at Sears. He later became an influential donor to higher education and global leadership initiatives. Williams' life spanned over a century of civic and corporate service. His legacy blended success with generosity. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.